Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everyone that left questions on my episode 5 video. I know everyone had a lot of questions about Grayscale, Ancient Valyria, and what might be happening, like the big WTS later this season. So I tried to add all those questions. So here we go. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. First question, Joseph asks, the Stone Men did touch Tyrion and he seems to be immune. Does this confirm that he might be a secret Targ? No, I think that the show just didn't want to give him Grayscale. If they wanted him to have Grayscale, they probably would have given him that Jorah Mormont moment. It doesn't mean Tyrion's completely safe, but he's probably safe for now. Next question, Jason asks, do you think that Theon Reek will tell Sansa the truth about her brothers? And if he does, do you think that she would believe him? Oh, you mean like, the fact that he didn't really kill her brothers? No, I think she'll find out though. There are probably people in and around Winterfell that know that her brothers are still alive, but right now I feel like the show is trying to make Sansa as uncomfortable as possible. If she were to find out her brothers were alive, that would be a big source of comfort. I don't think the show wants to give that to her yet. No matter how stone cold she seemed in this episode, things are probably going to get worse for her before they get better. Next question, Adam asks, can you explain the gray skin disease? So you're talking about grayscale. I think of it, the way I think of it is like a form of leprosy that's just really contagious. Gilly did a really good job of explaining its effects, its prolonged effects, so you should just rewatch that scene too. Your skin and soft tissues slowly harden till it looks like you have scales, like, stony skin. That's what they call them, the Stone Men. Eventually, your body just shuts down. Gilly says that her sisters went mad too, but the madness could be just side effects from having a prolonged disease like that and being left to die out in the cold. Like if you had a debilitating disease, no matter what it might do to your body, your mind might be fine, but if you were left out in the cold to die, I mean, you'd probably go a little nuts too. As weird as the Stone Men that we saw in this episode seemed, I think that they were just super desperate. Next question, Yusuf asks, do you think that Stannis and his army will be facing the White Walkers before they reach Winterfell? No, I think all the White Walkers that we see will be north of the Wall up at Hardhome. Winter's pretty much here. I mean, I feel like on the show they're going to have a moment where they say, winter is here, just because winter is coming is such a big saying. It just feels like a really cliche slam dunk to give a character. Winter has come, and then, cue like scary Inception music like at the end of this episode. So Stannis isn't just going to like march down there unscathed. Next question, Cristiano asks, do you think that the dragon feeding scene was the most disturbing one that Sophie talked about? Or is there something even more gruesome up north coming? Oh, so you're talking about, yeah, like Sophie Turner was talking about a really gruesome moment. Yeah, no, I think her moment will be something specific to her storyline. There were a number of actors, like the Onion Knight, for instance. In real life, the actor said that there's going to be some really gruesome moment happening because his story takes place, within Stannis' camp, around those characters. I think his moment that he was talking about is specific to that. So whatever Sophie Turner was talking about is something that'll be specific to Ramsay, Reek, and Sansa probably. Maybe Fat Walda, maybe Roose Bolton too. You have to remember that a lot of the actors don't film together. So like if an actor films on the other side of the world, they don't know what's going on in the rest of the episodes. Like they haven't seen the whole season. Usually when an actor gets script pages, it's just for the scenes they're doing that day or that week. So like they don't have script pages for what's going on in an episode that they're not being filmed for. Next question, Zachary asks, I was wondering why Daenerys still leaves the other two dragons, Rhaegal and Viserion, locked and chained up in the dungeon. Well, that's just to appease the people. She locked them up because Drogon ate that peasant boy. If Drogon had been around at the time, she would have locked him up too. She may have felt like at the time she was unable to control them, but I think that she's slowly coming around on that. Really though, the biggest reason they're still in there is just because she wants to keep everyone happy, which clearly, as we can see from the Sons of the Harpy, isn't working at all. Next question, Ruben asks, Episode 9 was revealed to be called The Dance of the Dragons. As it is in Episode 9, what do you think will happen? Well, I can't confirm that that's the title of the episode. If that's the case, and it's like a typical Episode 9 WTF, there will probably be metaphorical dragons dancing, as in like people like Targaryens, and literal dragons dancing, as in like dragons flying around. That's just speculation. I couldn't find any confirmation about the title of the episode. Remember, episodes like Kill the Boy have metaphorical and literal meanings. I think the metaphorical interpretation of the title is actually more interesting. If they're talking about dancing Targaryens, like, Targaryen characters, we have to consider, is the show going to offer us more evidence that there is a secret Targaryen on the show? Next question, Panda Chris asks, this season seems to be building up for a big moment with Shireen. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think it's building up to? Well, I think Stannis' faith is going to be tested by Melisandre. Remember the reason that they took Gendry. Melisandre only told Selyse to take Shireen with them after they lost Gendry. Remember, the Onion Knight let him go and he rode off right out of the story. We have no idea where he is. He sailed right off the page. So it seems like Shireen is backup for royal blood. For some reason, it seemed like Melisandre is unable to make a second shadow baby with Stannis. Clearly that's not the direction she would go with Shireen. She would probably try to use her blood to do something that we haven't seen before. Hopefully, maybe that will be a WTF moment. I'm a really big fan of Shireen, and the show is doing that on purpose. Like, they had that moment with Stannis because they want you to really like Stannis, think like he's a really good guy. They want you to really love Shireen because she's totally adorable. So what have we learned about Game of Thrones in the 4 seasons, 4.5 seasons we've been watching it? The minute you love someone a lot, it's just going to yank the rug right out from under you. So brace thyself, winter is coming for someone. Next question, John asks, what is the Doom? Well, you're talking about the Doom of Valyria. So that's like a cataclysmic event when the 14 flames all erupted. Those are volcanoes in and around the Valyrian Peninsula. Think of what happened at Pompeii. One volcano exploded and buried a civilization. Valyria had many, many volcanoes that all erupted around the same time. There's a lot of theories as to why it happened. The most practical is that over the 1,000 years of the rise and height of the Valyrian Empire, they just overmined the area around the volcanoes. If you remember Fellowship of the Ring, Gandalf talked about how the dwarves delved too deep into the earth till they woke the Balrog. Something kind of like that. The Valyrians got too greedy, mined too deep, destabilized the earth, and it caused the volcanoes to explode. There are theories that, people that Valyria had conquered used magic to help make the volcanoes explode. But because of a confluence of events, the volcanoes exploded, and that's what destroyed Valyria, the volcanoes themselves. Next question, Igor asks, do you think that Dany's starting to behave like the Mad King? Seriously, that scene reminded me of poor old Rickard Stark. Yeah, I choose fire as my champion, roast him alive. No, I think they want you to think that. They want you to mentally draw that parallel, but I don't think that she's literally turning into the Mad King. The hope is that, if Tyrion gets there, he can give her good advice and she'll slowly back off. But I do think that there's going to be a number of WTF moments that will still happen in and around Meereen. Daenerys standing over Hizdahr there, it does kind of look like she's a little mad, but I think that she just feels very sure in the decision that she's made. Thank you so much everyone for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. I'm expecting some more changes from the books, but some really great WTF moments, so I'll try to explain what the changes are whenever we see them in episodes. Congratulations to the book giveaway winners, Nixa and Gabriel Benitez. You guys win your choice of Feast for Crows or Dance with Dragons, both hardbacks signed by George R. Martin. Whoever DMs me first can just choose which book they want, and the other one will get the other book. So DM me so we can find a way to ship the books out to you guys. Next week's giveaway will be back to the HBO Now subscriptions. If there's any special bonus videos you guys want to request, just let me know in the comments. Episode 6 video next week, be sure to subscribe to get it. The title of that episode is Unbent, Unbowed, Unbroken, the motto of House Martell, so probably going to be some really exciting Dorne stuff going on. Just in case you guys haven't seen it, you can click here for my episode 5 video from last night, and you can click here to learn all about Lyanna Stark. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.